Well, we're in a slightly different location. We're back in Dad's backyard, purely because Dad's got a nice big fire pit here where he has the bonfires. It's just a lot easier, isn't it, Dad?
Oh yeah, but safer too, I think.
Safer, easier. We've got all the dried sort of seasoned firewood here, so it made sense to just get the wood just burnt up here. So essentially what we're doing, we're burning all the planks. It's all reclaimed wood. We think it's pine. I did try and look for some oak. I wanted oak, but I couldn't find any in this like reclamation yard, so it's all pine. Maybe they were floorboards, I'm not too sure. They're quite wide ones, aren't they?
Yeah, you can see the bubble,
the sap
there.
Yeah. So what we're doing, we're charring the wood, which essentially helps to preserve it. It's an ancient preservation technique. Gets all the bugs out of it, chars the kind of just the outer layer, and it stops bugs then coming back in to eat it, and it just reduces rot from moisture getting into it and everything. Also, it looks quite authentic. It looks a bit more medieval. Hand forged nails, which I did forge recently in a video. I'll put a link up here, and we're going to use those nails to get this door put together here, and then take it to the woods and fit it on the Saxon house in the woods, hopefully. But we're just getting the fire cranked up again now because we've got some rain coming in, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get going with that. We have a secret series coming up here at Dad's place here in the backyard. It's going to be a really fun series. We're not going to tell you anything about it yet, other than we are in the process we're about to start filming it. It's going to be a good one, isn't it, Dad?
Yeah, it's going to take a while, yeah.
It's going to take a while. We've set ourselves quite a challenge, but we just think you guys are going to absolutely love this series. There's a father-son series coming up. So, yeah,
totally
keep an eye on it.
Angle.
Totally different, so keep an eye out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Albert Einstein, Survival of the Fittest. Here we go. You set your lawn alight, Dad. You've got your lawn on fire.
Burning the lawn off.
Bit of Dad's magic dust there.
Yeah, with magic dust, I get the burning done. I can go and have a cup of tea.
Bloody hell, that's bright.
Just drop the ice, there's no light.
Right, we're in Dad's workshop. This is probably the first time TA Outdoors fans have seen your impressive workshop, Dad.
Yeah, unless they follow the fishing
first,
program.
I'll just give them a quick tour. We've got
we
got bench grinders, we've got old marlin bills up there that Dad's caught. Tons of... Look, this is classic Dad. Look at this. I'm guessing you have not paid for one of these, Dad.
I don't pay for anything.
Rusty washers, screws, bolts, nuts, everything. Mostly rusty, but there's a few... Dad, they look a bit clean.
Yeah, somebody would have given them to me.
That's too clean for you, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as you can see, this is Dad's workshop. There's some of the sharks he's caught and everything. And, yeah, there's some old fish there. Look at that tail. Back in the day when... That is what they did, wasn't it, Dad? They fed villagers with these fish.
They did. We ate those, like those one there. There's 1980.
Yeah.
February 1980 was the first marlin I caught with another guy, Cliff.
Wow. And it was eaten, obviously.
Yeah, they get eaten.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They release them all now.
Here he is, pillar drill in the corner, jet wash, compressor, chest freezer.
Oh, that's the one to look at, boy. It's full of trout stuff.
For shark fishing.
Bait, everything's in there, yeah.
So you got lots of stuff, so this is handy.
To do, yeah.
We are going to be working in this area here. Now here is some of the nails, or examples of the nails, that I forged with Alex Pole down in Somerset in my previous video. Look up here, or look in the video description, to see us hand forge these. Now we forged these longer ones, which are way too long. If you imagine the pieces of wood together are about, what, 2 inches, Dad?
Barely, yeah.
Barely 2 inches. Look, that's way too long. That's going to stick out the wood. And the nail is too thick to bend round, isn't it? We can't bend that round.
Yeah, you can't bend round. It's going to go in and stay.
So, Alex gave me some other ones as well that he's forged with on his courses and things like that. So we've got some much smaller ones. Now this nail here is the size that we're meant to be using.
Sad, isn't it?
So we have to, unfortunately, but it's got to be done. Get a hacksaw out and saw these hand forged nails to the correct length, and then we're going to take them over here and we're going to stick them probably on this, Dad, right? The bench grinder, and we'll grind a point back on them, and hopefully we can then get these ready to go in the Saxon house door. Yeah. Right, change of plan again. This is what happens with the nail once we use the hacksaw, cut it off, and we put it on the bench grinder. It actually is basically too fat down by the point. See, it gets thicker towards the head of the nail. So by cutting it where we did, it's then got a really thick point, which is going to essentially open up the wood as it goes in, and it's not going to have a tight fit, it's not going to pinch. So what we're going to do is actually use these size nails in the wood itself, and we're going to hammer them home, hammer them through, and they're still going to stick out quite a bit. They're going to stick out quite a bit, but it doesn't matter, because then we're going to hacksaw the edge off. At least that way it pinches in and it holds in the wood rather than spreading the wood too far. The thing is that this is soft pine, so if we've got to be careful punching through this. These sorts of nails on something like oak would pinch in and no problem, it's such a dense wood, but where the grain in pine is not so dense, it could split really easily, and it's reclaimed wood, remember, so it's definitely going to potentially split, so we have to be really careful when we drive these home. Get it all. There you go. Moment of truth.
At least I can see the head on these.
You can't miss them. Oh. Right, so there's a split.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have to
Pre-drill.
pre-drill these holes.
Yeah.
Good job we checked that.
Yeah, exactly that.
Guys, we have moved, bit of commentary here. We've moved to a brace and bit, and we're going to pre-drill these holes just to help stop the wood from splitting. We are not using medieval skills for this one. We've put a lot of time and effort
medieval sledgehammer.
Yeah.
This was used in Game of Thrones. That's better.
That's it.
That's it.
That's in. Right. So I'm just putting up the window again, the medieval style window that I built in a previous episode using no nails, just all wood pegs. And on these hinges, if you look at this hinge here, that's the slots for the dowel that I made. But on these hinges, these were quite square and they're quite bulky. So obviously I used an axe to hew these up, but they are quite square. So what I'm doing, when that turns on the other hinge, it's just catching slightly because it's sticking out. So what I've done on this one, for example, is I've just rounded off the edges, and you can see that just there. It's just rounded, as opposed to square like that top one there. It's the top one, the square with the rough right angle sort of edges, and there's the rounded one. So I'm just using my knife to just chamfer and bevel off the edges here without compromising the hole itself. Yeah. Be coming in, just beveling it off to begin with, and then just rounding it off. I'm sort of holding my knife like that, fingers away from the blade, but using it as like a reverse draw knife. So I've got two hands on nice like strong grip. My knife needs a good old clean and sharpen. Thank you for cooking, Dad.
Yeah.
What have we got?
Make somebody a good wife, wouldn't I? We got hot dogs. There was no frankfurters.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a frankfurter and a hot dog, apart from the spelling? Chips, i.e. sauteed potatoes, and egg. And it all went swimmingly well.
I was going to say it was remarkably quiet. I was just washing the back walls, the front gable end walls of the logs, and it's pretty quiet over there. I didn't hear many swear words, so it must have gone well.
Well, the big thing we always make is never having a big fire, and that's what we should do, a big fire.
Well, the problem is we always come here with a sort of task in hand, so the management of the fire and the cooking is generally secondary, really, isn't it? They are good. Also, I looked over the eggs that you were cooking in that frying pan. That's a hand forged frying pan from Alex Polar, blacksmith, who I just did some videos with on the nails, which we'll talk about in a bit. But it cooked the egg all right, actually, didn't it? We're eating with spoons because it's all we brought out.
We forgot the forks and everything. And worse, we forgot. I don't know how to say it. Tomato ketchup.
He keeps whinging and moaning about the ketchup not being there. It does feel a bit weird. We're really pleased with the door. Look, guys, it's not built medieval specific, of course, but it is way better than the previous pallet wood door that we had on there. I'm not knocking the pallet wood door. It was solid, but it just didn't really go with the kind of era of here. So we used a mixture, like I say, mixture of modern tools and older school things like the hand forged nails and everything like that, and it's come out quite good. And we've sealed it all with some kind of outdoor paint. Just weatherproof paint, really. Just to, we've put a lot of time and effort into it. We could have just left it as the burnt timbers, and we could have used wood dowels and everything for the hinges. But that window I didn't mind doing with no nails and everything, because it's not going to be opened and closed as much as the door will be. So I figure with the door we don't want to be open, close, open, close, open, close, and then it all fall apart. So I'd rather have it properly done. So like I say, we used a mixture of modern and old school things. But I'll talk about the door in a minute, and we're going to roast up some chestnuts too.
It's taken, hard to believe, that door, 1.5 days
easily,
to do that.
From scratch, pretty much.
From nothing,
So Dad, you're splitting chestnuts different to how I would do it. I'd put a cross in them.
In the top?
Yeah, you seem to be doing it.
You do a cross in the top?
On the flat, on the flat side I usually put like an X.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, what are you doing here?
I just do 4 cuts, so it doesn't go off like a pistol shot.
But I didn't know you could cut them. I didn't know you cut them like that.
Well, just my granddad told me that way, just because they're easier to peel. You can get your nail under and peel the...
That makes sense, because actually when they're
nut.
like an X, they are really quite tricky to peel sometimes, unless they're cooked well.
Yeah, well, they're hot. They get hot, don't they? That's the
they
thing,
do explode if you don't cut them.
But it also lets the air out and the juice bubbles out sometimes.
And the moisture,
Yeah.
They're looking good.
Just like 4 cuts there, just across the top. That's a small one. I'll put that one back in the tree.
Yeah.
They all seem to come down this year really, really quickly in about
I
a
think
week.
the winds, we had that storm.
A week or 10 days.
I foraged the lade during that time that storm came.
And they were down. They just came down really quickly. That one's hot.
That is a sweet chestnut. Castanea sativa. I always remember the Latin name for that. Castanea sativa. That's an English chestnut right there. Dad, we dip them. You do a bit of a tradition, don't you? We don't just eat them straight up like that.
No, my granddad always had some salt. He used to put some salt like this. Just get a bit of salt. Oh, you know what, a salt grinder? He was so poor he couldn't afford a salt grinder. He had a salt block. He used to steal the horse licks from the horses.
Really?
Okay, and he just pushed those into the salt like that. So you got a bit of salt on them. Pop them down the pipe. Right, Mum.
Let's have a go.
You got me into the salting them as well as a kid. That's what we did. I mean, it's a lot of salt by the time you finish the whole.
Oh, you get sodium poisoning, but still.
Oh, they're so nice though. You can't beat fresh foraged sweet chestnut.
I don't know what proteins or anything is. Were they, you know, were they
Nuts are
like
tend
nuts
to be,
have got
yeah.
a lot of protein? Are they fattening? Am I going to get out the forest between the trees? Squeeze in between the trees?
I don't know. They're good though. These are, we foraged these ourselves. I actually did some foraging the other day. Right now, guys, is peak chestnut time here in England. Absolutely peak, sort of mid to end October. And if there's been winds and strong storms like there has been, you can get in before the squirrels get to them, which is why we've got so much. Now, I went foraging the other day, and as some of you know on my Instagram, I'm starting to bring out my own kind of branded, TA Outdoors branded camping and bushcraft gear, which I'm really excited about showing you. And the very first piece of gear has been released, and it's a foraging pouch made for me by my friend Brian. It's all handmade with leather and waxed canvas. All the stitching and cutting and dyeing has all been done handmade by Brian. The attention to detail is incredible, and I'm really pleased with them. And yeah, I'm going to roll on a segment now of me foraging for these chestnuts here. And if you guys like them, I'll pop a link to my website, taoutdoors.com. There is only a few left. They got swept up when I did an email. I sent out an email to my email subscribers. If you're interested in doing that, head to taoutdoors.com. You get kind of exclusive access to products before they get released. And yeah, most of them got snapped up, so there's only a few left. But I'll let me know what you guys think, and I'll put a link to them in the description below.
The other thing, folks, is that anybody walks through these woods, they're going to say, "Holy cow, Mabel, get me the 12 gauge. You want to see what this squirrel's been eating?" It's a 16-foot squirrel, Mabel.
Let me show them.
Bigfoot. By the time I leave, well, I won't be able to leave because there's going to be a massive heap of chestnut peelings here.
Someone's going to think that something weird's going on.
Something big has been in here and feeding some kind of squirrel. Squirrel. They call it squirrel in America. Now in America, you guys over there, we know we've got followers in America, even both have
we meant that by banter, guys. That was a bit of fun.
have a joke. Yeah, fishing site show as well. We got a lot of Americans over there. Do you get your sweet chestnuts, these ones, earlier than us?
Possibly.
Because I know...
winter's quite harsh compared to it.
Well, over the same latitude as us would be, is it New England, Nova Scotia, that sort of way? But they get much colder weather, so I'm wondering, do you guys over there on that east coast of the States, do you get it earlier, the chestnuts, or berries or whatever? You know, is it like September where we say...
Well, they start to get snow like mid-November.
Well, we don't
get it till February.
We've got the Gulf Stream. We've got, although we're the same latitude...
We've got maritime climate.
We've got maritime climate, so ours Gulf Stream, which is, well, it's not really Gulf Stream, spitting chestnuts everywhere. It's not really the Gulf Stream, it's called the North Atlantic Drift. It does mediate our weather somewhat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, if we had snow now, we'd be, oh my God.
Well, and we're in the south of England where it's pretty mild, temperate climate as well. So we get the rain, but we also get mild climate. So we're quite lucky in that sense.
Wet and windy.
But we get the 4 seasons. I mean, look at the trees here. So our autumn lasts for, what, 6 weeks, Dad?
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, over, I think, some of you guys in North America said it lasts about 3 days, the autumn.
Yeah, very, very quick.
Really fast.
I've been over there, Pennsylvania.
It's crazy.
So this is it. This is the new Saxon house door. Bit more medieval style with the hand-forged nails up here. Yes, the hinges are a little bit modern, but I've actually...
They're 50 years old.
They're
from an old shed.
They are pretty vintage, and
old.
I've actually got some at home. I forgot to bring them some nice kind of swirly pattern hinges, which I guess look a bit more medieval-like. So we might switch them out down the line. I'll bring those up next time. But essentially what we did is we burnt the wood on the bonfire, not here in the woods. It was so much easier at Dad's place. Nice big bonfire. No worry about the forest floor catching fire because it was all grass there. We burnt them nice and quick.
Yeah.
We scraped off the burnt kind of top layer with a brush.
Breathed it in.
Breathed it in, yeah, wire brush. And then in the garage, nice controlled environment, we got to work on hammering in those hand-forged nails. The main thing we wanted with the door was it to be practical and easy to open and close, which is why we used some of the more modern hinges. But in terms of looks-wise, I'll show you a shot now of the old Saxon house door. It certainly looks a lot better, but it opens fine.
It's not very nice saying that because I made that.
No, I know. But I mean, it was solid, that door, but it just didn't fit the shelter itself.
Yeah.
So Dad talked through the design. It's pretty much the same as a sort of shed door, really, isn't
A
it?
shed door, really, yeah.
But we had to angle grind or off these ends of the nails where we used the hacksaw to cut. We hammered through. We used the hacksaw to take off those points, and then you used the grinding wheel, didn't you, Dad? On a
Yeah, what we used to use years ago was you drive that through, cut it off flush as you could, and then you use, what do you call them? I call it a round end. Is it a ball pen hammer, the one with the ball
peen
thing? And then you'd round it off. You just bend.
But they're so
thick.
Dad did it, and it just didn't go anywhere.
Wasn't happening.
But it's done. It's grinded down back, and then what we did is we did a layer of linseed oil, boiled linseed oil on the top, and that's just because this is out in the open in the weather. You know, there's no protruding gable end out here that would protect this door, so it's really open to the elements, which is why we added the boiled linseed oil. We also, you will have seen, like I say, some outdoor paint, and that's because it's weather sealing paint to help seal all this, otherwise it's just all going to rot away. So, mixture of old and new.
Over here in the UK, we do not get termites.
No, I know. Yes. So it must be
them.
the Aussie guys. It must be you Aussie subscribers. They
Do they
always
get
say everything we build. They're always like
6 months.
and the US, some of the US guys, I think.
Yeah,
you
must
just
have
say,
bad termites
you just
over
go, guys, that's going to go in 6 months if we built that. But the thing is we're here in the UK. There's no termites here.
Yeah,
Loads of ants, but there's no termites. So this will last quite a long time. But yeah, I'll get some close-ups for you guys. So here we go. This is the hand-forged nails. That one's slightly split there, but actually most of them, Dad, weren't too bad.
Yeah.
That one didn't split.
No, that's okay.
And that one was pretty good.
Borderline.
Yeah, I mean it's pine, so it's a soft wood, but that's what it looks like, essentially charred, and it does look a lot better than the previous one. I just blacked up this frame bit here a bit just to make it a bit more square frame, and yeah, it just turns out a lot better now, much better.
Goes right back round.
It does, yeah. And I was just
we altered the hinges because before, if you do the hinges, I call it too tight, too close, and I do it. I've done it for years, and I still don't learn. When you go to close it, it stretches and springs the door.
Yeah, at the bottom.
This way, I altered that hinge and made a little bit bigger gap at the bottom,
Yeah.
just millimetres, and look, the door will close on its
Properly.
own, like
Yeah.
that. So that's fine there.
yeah, and then on the window I just sorted out, it's still a bit crooked, but I sorted out the hinges and rounded them off. So how smooth is it now, Dad, compared to before?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like way smoother. It was all juddery
It's all
before.
flush round here. You've only got to put a little, well, in fact, it does stick there.
A
doesn't
latch
it?
on the inside.
On the
probably,
inside,
yeah.
or a bit of cord and go round
Yeah.
the loop.
Look, it's something different. That's all we can say. Well, I appreciate you guys watching this episode. We're almost there on the Saxon house. Really, we've got the interior. I'm going to do a better bed in there because those are the standard sort of camping beds. But we will do a better bed in there. Get some overnighters done in it as well as this shelter here. I know I keep saying that, but we will get there eventually. Don't forget, check out Dad's channel, TA Fishing, for
And
some,
merch. You
and
can't have his
yeah.
merch.
TA Fishing, go and subscribe to Dad's channel. In fact, everyone who's watching this, if you're watching this now, please go on over to TA Fishing. I'll put a link in the description. Hit the subscribe button, tick the bell, you won't regret it. There's some really good videos on there. And Christmas is coming up, so if you're looking for gifts for family or loved ones, then check out taofficial.com for merchandise like clothing and things like that, and any kind of bushcraft related gear, taoutdoors.com. Again, all the links are in the video description below. It's been fun, Dad.
It's been a good one, yeah, not been too bad at all. It was sort of epic burning off the, like a fire. All men like a fire and a bonfire, don't they?
Yeah.
But the big mistake we made was we should have maybe wire brushed off a
bit more.
The surplus of the charcoal door, if you like, outside the garage.
Yeah, every time we were hammering the big nails in,
up.
it was going boom, and the dust was coming up. Sorry guys, battery went dead on that one. We're going to say goodbye from here in the woods, but don't forget we have a really fun series coming up. Possibly, well, yeah, in the next month, 2 months or something, we're going to start filming it, and we're going to film all the episodes and then release them.